Hello.
We're back again.
We're back again. You guys already know, but we bring you greetings from the city of
Jerusalem.
in the country of Israel. Y'all, this is our last night officially here. Our flight leaves out tomorrow night, really late, but this is our last official touring night, and of course we needed to share with you guys again. As you can tell, we're safe and sound. We're happy.
Yes.
A
little tired, but
tired. And when we look back at the videos, probably from day one, we were probably about 17 shades darker than when we started. We have put on sunscreen, but y'all, this orange dress is just highlighting the touch of sun that we got. But what the sun did not do.
It didn't smite us.
It did not smite us. So today we went to the Mount of Olives. Yay!
Yay!
The Garden of Gethsemane.
Yay!
We went to the Wailing Wall.
Whoa,
Yay!
that was something.
So we were able to, those were the highlights for today. Mom, take it away. Highlights for today.
Oh, well, probably the two, the Garden of Gethsemane and the Wailing Wall.
Yeah.
was touched me the most, I think.
Okay. And can you elaborate?
Well, the Wailing Wall is when you have a prayer that you want to leave at the wall, and you want to make sure you get it tucked in one of the stones so that come out. But it gives you an opportunity to just express your heart to God.
Yeah. A tangible point of contact.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And in this present and in the future, and my part of my prayer had to do with my family.
Absolutely.
Making sure that my grandchildren and great grandchildren always have God in their life.
Yes.
And know the meaning of Christianity and live by that concept, because that's who Jesus was, and that's who He is, and that's what we should be.
Get to know Jesus on a personal
level. Absolutely.
Get to know their Jesus for themselves. So you know, you hear those songs that my grandmama prayed for me, and my mom can say her great grandchildren can say my great grandmother literally prayed for me, but they need to get to know Jesus for themselves.
Yes, and it's a golden opportunity.
Absolutely.
And the Garden of Gethsemane is where Jesus prayed to His Father, but He was willing to do God's will.
Absolutely.
Whatever that will was, Jesus was willing to do it, and He suffered and died and was just martyred. And one of the ministers of the church was explaining to us how the thorns that they put in His head, we actually saw those thorns.
They were about this long, guys.
Yes,
it was. And they made a crown out of it and stuck it on his head. And that bush was in the garden, and we got to see it for ourselves. And one of our ministers at our church, he's a former pastor, sage, just sound wisdom, biblical knowledge like you would not believe, and loves to share, loves to teach. So she called a group of us over while our tour guide was not talking, and gave us some detail in regards to that, and it was just beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with that, really, we shouldn't have any sickness, any worry, any discouragement, any whatever.
Because Jesus took everything.
He took everything on His back for us, and that was such a reality. I mean, that scripture is Isaiah 53:4, and I read it often, and I've tried to soak it up, but I'm telling you, seeing it today really made such an impact with me.
Yeah.
That we shouldn't And we
don't accept it.
Yeah.
Just do not accept it. It's God. Jesus already paid the price
Exactly.
for our mental health, our physical health, spiritual health, financial health. Do not accept anything less. Do not accept.
Absolutely.
It's an insult to Jesus.
Exactly.
Actually.
Exactly. That's what I keep thinking.
You know how, and we know how, as humans, we know how that we feel when somebody like I did all that for you, and that's how you repay me, or that's the thank you I get.
That's all you can think about.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
And so, like you said, it's an insult.
Yeah.
To, people wonder sometimes, is healing really real?
Correct.
Well, Jesus did all this for us, and we're gonna insult him by saying it's not real.
Yeah.
But it's
wanting to remain sick.
Oh, goodness. That's a whole nother story.
Some pills and some whatever, or to feel whatever. But Jesus, the bottom line is, Jesus, what Jesus did for us on Calvary.
Yes.
And what he prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane, y'all, he didn't say, yes, he volunteered. Yeah, Daddy, I'll go. I'll go. But when the reality of that thing came to him, because he was all man and all God. He knew the man part of him was going to have to suffer. And he said, he prayed and cried till he cried and had sweats of blood. Does any, and all of us have been to a point where we feel like we've been hurt enough that if we could have, sweat blood, we would have. But the agony.
Yes.
And our pastor, once we went over to the area where Jesus was when the soldiers came to arrest him, she went over a couple of scriptures for us as it relates to that. But she also said that God will not give us anything to do that's easy. Because if we could do it, then it's in our own, it's in our own strength.
Then we don't need God.
We don't even know if you could, pay your own, whatever things that's going on. If you could do it for yourself, then that's not a God thing. That's a you thing.
Exactly.
You can do that.
Exactly.
God does and asks us to do things that are impossible because He knows you can't do it in your own strength. And so bringing that to life, that was, that was awesome.
Phenomenal.
And I will go, the Mount of Olives at the time of Christ was actually a mountain that was full of these absolutely stunning olive trees.
Yes.
And one thing Mom said, because of course there's olive trees just about everywhere we've gone, except for the desert, because wasn't nothing out there but some palm trees that are planted. But the olive trees, they are stunning. And Mom said, designers are putting olive trees in homes and stuff like that all the time. She said, what if they, I want, Mama, them olive trees, they get them off Amazon. So if y'all see an olive tree in my mama's yard, y'all gonna know why she got one.
That's right.
But anyway.
That's right. And the olives are delicious.
Yes,
the olives are wonderful.
And they're beautiful to see them actually hanging on a tree, on the leaves. They're beautiful. But, so on the Mount of Olives, there's if a cemetery can be beautiful, y'all, and I'll show you some pictures. There's the cemetery there. I mean, far as the eye can see, literally, tombstones. And what our tour guide explained to us was that the Jewish community, when someone passes, they shroud them like they did Jesus. They dig their grave about 10 feet deep. No coffin, no casket. They put the body in the ground 10 feet, cover it with dirt, and then build the tomb on top of it. And then they'll write an epitaph, and I think I'm saying that right, about the person on the top of the tombstone. And there were a lot, as we walked throughout, there was a lot of rocks on the tombstone, and I was like, did this happen because of the weather? Did wind blow these rocks on here? And he explained to us there's two things about the tombstones there on the Mount of Olives. That there's a little square hole in the back, and that hole is put there on purpose so that when you're visiting your loved one's grave site, you can light a candle for them. And I'm sure there's some other things in regards to that too. But the other thing, the rocks are a symbol that someone has visited their loved one at some point and left that rock there. Now, he said flowers fade, they decay, they blow away, all those things, but a rock is solid and it will stay there. So we saw some tombstones with a few rocks on it. We saw tombstones with multiple rocks on it, those kinds of things. He said at some point when it fills up, someone will, scrape it off, and of course you just start back over. But I thought that was a beautiful sentiment to that the rocks won't move, but a flower, if you put it there, it will. And that was one thing, just as a side note, when my sister and I were deciding on the tombstone or the headstone for my dad, we didn't want that little flower thing, because when we visit, the gravesite, everybody that has one, those flowers are plastic, faded, blown away, nothing's in there, and it was just a waste. But we did do a beautiful rock garden, so to speak, on Dad's tombstone. So in a way, we didn't even know it, but that's another way that we were able to honor him. But Wailing Wall. So Mom and I wrote our prayers out this morning, folded them up. My son-in-law Brandon, his wife Jessica, my daughters, wanted to make sure that Brandon got his prayer wrote out. I got it to me before we left. It was so important for him to be able to do that, and I was so excited and honored and elated and happy to be able to do that. So got that prayer in the wall, got a photo of it, so as proof, Brandon, that I put your prayer in the wall. And I know God will honor those prayers, because we pray God's will for our lives. The people, we saw the people, Mom. Oh, yeah. So we were in the Jewish part of the city today, and the people were beautiful. Y'all, they're going on about their lives. We passed by a procession, and it was music and drums and people and little children, and they had it looked like a hoopah. Anyway, it was like a little parade, very festive. And we asked our tour guide, hey, what's this? What are we witnessing? And it was the little children that graduate from first grade, and they get their first prayer book. It's a celebration. So that was beautiful to see. And these babies are beautiful. They are. The people are beautiful. One last thing before we leave. Once you see, and the one thing we did feel, I did for sure, especially when we were at the Wailing Wall and just throughout the day, honestly, the whole time we've been here, is peace. Yes. It is a peaceful place, y'all. Don't believe the hype of what the enemy and the news will tell you about what's going on. That's not here. So, we have been the first tour group for a lot of businesses, a lot of the bus company, our tour guide, since all of this craziness happened. And they wanted to encourage us to tell other people it is okay to visit. We've been safe and sound the entire time, no issues. And the people, once we saw their faces, it puts a face to that prayer or that command in Psalm 121 and 122 to pray for the peace of Israel. You want that peace to remain here in Israel, the entire country. So, peace. So y'all, if you have not, it is a command. It is not a suggestion that the Lord wants us to pray for the peace of Israel. So if you have not added that to your prayer, one thing that we can for sure encourage you to do is pray for the peace of Israel. We got one more night in our hotel, y'all, and then we've got another half day of touring, and then we're getting to we're gonna get to the airport. Me and Mama, we done shopped till we dropped. Kinda. Yes.
And had a wonderful time doing it.
Yes.
Buying souvenirs for people
family
back home. Y'all look for your gifts when we get home.
We will see y'all again tomorrow. Tomorrow's video will be at the airport. We'll try to sneak away if we can. Like I said, our flight doesn't leave till late, so we'll try to sneak away and give you a little synopsis. But thank you for joining us. We wanted to be able to do something to where we could remember what went happen throughout the day, and of course to share it with our family and friends and all back home. So Mama gonna give me the signal in a minute. She goes like, wrap this up, girl. So that's it. We love y'all. We'll be flying back home tomorrow. Again, we're safe and sound. We've had a blast great time in Israel. And are you ready?
Yes.
See y'all tomorrow.